All right, we're recording.
All right.
Yo, what's
Yo.
going on, fella?
What's going on, man? What's up, Daily Walk? What's going on? This is 𝐼𝐸𝐥𝐥𝐿, Didi Turner, and the Beige Against the Machine. You switched it up on me.
You know what I'm saying? Got to, man. Got to.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yo,
Crazy days, man. Crazy days.
crazy days, man. 2025, man. First of all, Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year, good brother.
Happy New Year to you too, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Crazily enough, I think that 2024 started off with a bang with the, Cat Williams viral interview, you know what I'm saying, and everything else that, took place after that, from downfall of Diddy to, just everything. It was a crazy year, man. But 2025 is saying hold my beer. This is this is the first week into the into the year, man. And LA is on fire, brother.
Literally. Yeah.
Literally on fire, man. I just got off of the phone with my cousin who lives in Pasadena, and they had to evacuate yesterday.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, all signs point to everything being destroyed. They haven't been able to go back and back and see, but they had to evacuate, man, and it's not looking good. And just got off the phone with my lady. I know last week I didn't have one, but this is a whole different year, y'all. So still, whatever. Let me shut up. Just got off the phone with my with my lady, man, and her best friend lives in Calabasas. Her husband is actually one of Kevin Hart's chief writers, man, and
wow,
they are they just sent video, man, from their backyard, and it's not looking good, man. And they were supposed to evacuate earlier today, and they waited, and it's just a really scary situation, man, because now the phone is off. Yeah. They have no ways of communication, and the last text message that was sent said all the highways are closed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ugly, man. And I mean, these are people that if you know, but like Calabasas, you don't have less than $5 million homes, $3 million.
Right. Yeah, it's a very affluent area. Yeah,
very affluent, man. And one of the things that her friend was saying was it's just the affluent neighborhoods. It's just the affluent areas that are on fire.
Yeah, but I'm not. I can't pretend to be familiar with the geography or even the topography of LA, but I did hear, according to some news reports and some media outlets, the accounts that they're giving, and they're giving a lot of them, is that area is in the valley, though, right? Is it like an area that's in a valley geographically? Yes. So
yeah, it's definitely in a valley, man. I went to Pasadena a few years ago, man, for New Year's to kick it with my family out there, and and they were talking about how it's in a valley. We actually went to the Rose Bowl. Pasadena has a Rose Bowl and all that, and that's also the home to Jet Propulsion Laboratories, man. One of my cousins is legitimately a rocket scientist.
JPL.
Yep. JPL, yep. And, they do a lot of work, for NASA and all of that, as far as the actual engineering and design of these different rockets, man. And just a lot has been destroyed. A lot has been completely destroyed. Like this will legitimately, the reverberations of this, like, even if the fire was contained now, which it's not at all, zero containment still, man. Like, if it was entirely contained right now, man, this would still be earth changing, just given what LA means to popular culture. You have film studios that are burning, you have museums that are burning, you have these different places, man, like residential places that have been around for 100 years and so, that are now completely burned to the ground. Pacific Palisades, completely burned, to the ground, man. And I think the good thing about this, there is no good thing about this. But if there was a sort of glass half full perspective, I think that it would be because it's the affluent areas. Most of these people have the means to evacuate.
Yeah.
It's not like a Katrina, like flooding the lower Ninth Ward. You know what I'm saying? And cats don't have insurance, and cats don't have a summer home. Cats don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not one of those situations. Most of these people, have the means to, seek refuge and, have different avenues out. And in the aftermath of things or whatever, like beyond like the human life aspect of things. But like a lot of these people have insurance, so they're going to, be able to replace the things that are tangibly replaceable. But it sucks, man. There's really no upside to this. And it's beyond unfortunate.
Didn't like the insurance back out weeks before the fire even happened?
Oh man, I knew it was only a matter of time before you threw a conspiracy theory. I haven't heard that, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know how legitimate this is, but I did see something on X today where people are posting that State Farm has canceled some policies. So I and again that could be all conjecture. I don't know. But yeah, it's horrible. Hey, y'all keep talking. I'm gonna hop off 1 second because I think I'm lagging a little bit on my side. So y'all keep talking.
You don't seem like it, but go ahead.
Oh, I don't. Okay, all right. I'll leave it then. That's cool.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So I got this video. Where Trump was talking about the fires and stuff like that. I want y'all to check it out real quick.
Okay.
The most expensive structure ever built in the history of our country, relatively speaking, the most expensive by far. We lost 38,000 people. They gave it to them for $1, and then they charge more for our ships. It's not going to happen. And China's running the Panama Canal. That's not going to happen either.
Mr. President, on California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing.
Right,
but for California, we take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars. Mr. President.
Well, we know that this idiot doesn't have any level of class or any level of humanity when it comes to tragedies. Of course, he's going to take this moment and politicize it and say what the governor did wrong and blame one person for something that clearly is not one person's fault. Whoever lit the cigarette, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever, that's, but it's not the governor's fault. So to take this moment and try to use it for political gain is the slimy the slimy conjecture that we're used to. Secondly, as a black man, I love smell. You know what I'm saying? I think smells amazing. I'm kidding. None of this is funny. But Trump is doing what Trump does and is using tragedy and trying to politicize it for personal gain when he already has the election locked down. So it's just his typical slimy behavior, and I expect nothing less from him.
Can I talk?
You got the mic, bro.
Bro, they asked him a question about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he just come out of nowhere and just said this shit. They asked him a question. He was talking about something else, and they asked him a specific question about what's going on in Cali. And you know what I'm saying? It's horribly ran. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was explaining. And I did more research on this situation about this whole smoke shit. There's policies that are literally. Hold up, let me go check it real quick.
So I'm sorry, you did research on smelting fish. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm curious to see what
how to season and saute them, or like
a few moments later.
The policies and legal issues that they have with this water is water rights. California complex and antiquated water rights system prioritize older claims, often leading to inequitable distribution. Environmental restrictions. Water is reserved for environmental purposes such as protecting fish habitats, which reduces the amount available on water for human use. You know what I'm saying? They literally did that shit.
Cool.
He's not lying about that. He's saying like they fucking did things horribly to save the endangered species of the California condors and Delta smelts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So are we saying? I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Are we saying that the reason why there's currently no access to water for firefighters to fight fires is because the water has been reallocated or redistributed or redirected to benefit the wildlife wetlands in California or the smelt? Correct. Is that what we're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I believe that. I listen, I'm just going to say this. I think that you don't have to be an engineer in any major city's waterworks to know that a major catastrophe like this, where it requires a great deal of water, is going to strain any system, no matter how big the city is. And I'm not saying that as an excuse for why they don't have access to water. I'm just saying that this is a catastrophic event that is unprecedented. And then when you have unprecedented events like this, there's generally not a response or operational response to deal with everything, right? So it makes a lot of sense that the water system is just taxed, because in addition to having firefighters attempt to do what they can do and, you know, gather water wherever they can from the water system, you also have panicked homeowners and property owners that are doing the same thing, despite being told that they shouldn't. But in being frantic, you know, they're doing what is the most reasonable thing to them. You know, I saw a report where some neighbors, not even at their own property, they were just doing the neighborly thing. They were trying to save a home of someone, one of their neighbors that had recently, was recently deceased. The home is obviously nobody's living in there, but the person was a staple in the neighborhood. So in honor of that person, they wanted to save their home. So they were literally going to the neighbor's pool with buckets to pull buckets out to suppress the spread of fire. So people are just doing what they have to, what's reasonable for them to do.
Yeah,
go ahead.
California has a fresh water shortage. This is well known. Like they say, like don't even water your grass every day. Like there are ordinances in certain neighborhoods or whatever that you have to water your grass either every other day, or you have to water your grass after 5 o'clock or something to the effect, or only when it's hottest. I don't know the details of it, but California has a fresh water shortage. I don't think that I'm a conservationist, man. I'm not one of those people that feels as though humanity should be prioritized over nature. I don't feel as though humanity should be prioritized over nature. I feel like that's a very Eurocentric thought process. But I think that there are, and I don't think that tragedy should be politicized before they are while we're in the midst of them. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't the time for finger pointing, right? Regardless, Gavin Newsom could, whatever, but like regardless of what the alleged mismanages are, it's just not the time for that, man. Like when you're in the midst of war, when you're in the midst of like a natural disaster, man, like humane people err on the side of we're gonna get this contained. We're gonna make sure that as many lives that are saved are possible, and then we're going to, moving forward, examine what we can do to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. I'm
gonna debate you on
that. I just want to say that's what what you just said is a government that is by the people for the people. Absolutely. Okay. So that's just what I wanted to say.
What I'm saying is this: if due to droughts that happen on a regular basis, a real dry climate, they're pumping water, from the ground and stuff like that to try to push things out. They've been dealing with this shit for years with California fires. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fact.
And you would think that they would have a retrospective, after the first one. You know what I mean? But for some reason, they're not doing that. And they keep on living their life, and there's millions and millions of dollars being allocated. The water is being allocated, sparingly, because, like you just said earlier, they had to make sure that you can't use the water or wash your car after a certain hour. You can't, you have to use like certain bags. That's why all these cars are going to EV, because, like of the gas emanating in the sky, stuff like that, because of damage with the climate control and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, so you put them in EV cars, right? And they're burning. You know what I'm saying? They can't get the fuck out because they got to charge their car. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How long does it take for you to charge your car? Probably like an hour. Now you got a line of people trying to get the fuck out of a burning, of being surrounded by burn. They can't get out. The highways are locked down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You know whose fault that is? Trump's man, Elon. Go ahead.
How is Trump man Elon the reason why EV cars is like that? Everybody's doing EV. He ain't the only one that's doing it. There's a whole bunch of people doing EV.
Who mainstreamed it?
Yeah, but what that got to do with anything? My thing is that, you know what I'm saying, like there was poor infrastructure of the water system in California. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They had millions of dollars that they could have been fixed that shit. Shout out to Flint, which they never did. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you knew this is happening. This is happening on a regular basis. Flint just happened and like, boom, it was a disaster. This shit happens damn near every fucking year. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I was looking at Joe Rogan, it said like, it's gonna be one time when that wind is gonna hit in a certain lick, and it's gonna start creating havoc. That's the reason why they haven't created havoc before. I had an artist friend that drove through California when it was fire. It looked like hell on earth. Mm-hmm. It's hell on earth right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not about finger pointing and everything like that. The facts are the fact. Motherfuckers are doing poor management, and motherfuckers. And another thing that people are not talking about, that if you on the coast of California, I mean, if you like California is the end of the United States. The rest of that shit is the Pacific Ocean. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you not have water? You know what I'm saying? And two.
Ocean water is different.
Okay, cool. They could fix that shit.
So you're saying it in? I just want to make sure that I got context. Are you saying it in? Are you saying it in regards to fighting fires? Is that what you're saying, or are you saying it in terms of consumption, human consumption?
If they have labs that should be able to change certain waters to certain waters.
I don't know about that, Ak. You're talking about a major undertaking for for being able to pull water out of the ocean to desalinate it to make it safe to consume by human beings or living.
Okay, fair enough, right?
I think that's a crazy thing, but
fair enough. But they are desalinating wastewater to try to make it for human consumption. So what's the difference?
Well, I don't think that. Well, you can't desalinate anything.
That's what they're doing in Cali.
No, I know, but you can't desalinate anything if it doesn't have salt in it, right? So what they're doing is they're just cleaning the water and making it, safe for consumption in terms of, the water that you're talking about.
Is Pacific water salt water, or how's the water is? I don't know how to, because I've never been to Cali.
No, yeah, I mean all bodies of oceans are salt water. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean you guys, some places in pockets like you guys where you're at, you have major sources of fresh water up in the Great Lakes, right?
Right.
But oceans primarily, I don't know if it's primarily or just they are just salt water.
Salt water.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, and theoretically, it would be great to say, all right, well, you got all this water here, let's pull it out, and let's do what we got to do with it to desalinate it so that it's safe for consumption. But I do agree with you in terms of it being able to fight fire. You know what I mean? Water is water. In my mind, if you're using water to be able to suppress fire and keep it from spreading, I don't know what the implications are, if any, with using ocean water to fight fires. It does make a lot of sense. I don't know why they don't do that. Maybe.
Why don't they have fire hydrants that have water in it? And they could connect that straight to the Pacific Ocean or wherever they need to connect.
I mean, you might be onto something there.
It's crazy. It's stupid. Like, why the fuck do you not have that? You should have that. Knowing that the fact that, you know what I'm saying, this been happening every year. Yeah. Big wildfires. Every year you hear it on the news.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Trying to figure out how to use ocean water to put out these fires, in Cali. I think that's brilliant. I'm sure that there's a good reason why it hasn't happened. I'm sure that you're not the first person to come up with that idea.
Reason?
Well, what's your reason?
Well, in 2011, there was a huge nuclear plant. I think it was Fukushima, Japan.
Yeah,
that exploded and was pouring in into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
right. Now they're saying that it reached the ocean, but the particles are so small that they can't detect it. But if it's consumed, you'd be radioactive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just stop talking about it.
I don't think
out of nowhere, they're talking about, we ain't got no water in Cali.
I don't think that's they didn't have water in Cali before that, but I do hear what you're saying. But that's not stopping people from going to the beach. That's not stopping. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't stopped. I mean, there was an oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, or as Trump calls it, the Gulf of Detroit, or the Gulf of America.
Get it right, bro. America, bro. Get it right.
Gulf of America.
I wasn't even gonna talk about that shit, but go ahead, though.
So he's such a weirdo. And that still didn't, every time that I've gone down to New Orleans, since it hasn't stopped anything in the seafood industry, and they get that directly from the Gulf. So I don't think that it's that. I think that the question is at this point, or something that needs to be looked at as a solution. And this is something that I am generally against, because I feel like it's close to playing God. And I think that there's certain things that we shouldn't mess with. But I think for situations like this, what they've been doing in Dubai to create rain, which is cloud seeding, right? And I don't necessarily know how it works. I'm no scientist or whatever, but I know that it is possible to, for lack of a more articulate way to explain it, inject water into clouds so that they create rain. I think I really think that would probably be the best the best go. But as we've seen in Dubai, you know, in recent years, and Dubai is a desert, we've seen flooding in Dubai because they don't know how to necessarily control it. You know, yeah. So, you know, I think that there are definitely ideas that need to be looked at. There are definitely solutions that need to seriously be considered. And, you know, if there is any good thing about this or whatever, because it's happening to a bunch of rich people, they're going to pull out all the stops to make sure that this does not happen again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they should have been did that shit. I don't understand that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now they're gonna do this shit. Like it's been happening. Like it's been happening to millions of dollars. Calabasas always getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Snoop had to get the fuck out of his crib.
Calabasas has never been fucked up.
Man, Snoop had to break out of his crib because Snoop lived in Calabasas. Or forgive me if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Because he had to get the fuck out like last year or 2 years ago.
Nah, not because of that, bro. These are multi-million-dollar homes, and a lot of them are older, man. Like a lot of this has not happened in areas that have burned down. This is not happening in areas that have burned down before. Like this is happening in affluent areas where people feel safe, where people feel as though this can't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest concern for most of these people is, will my house architecturally be able to stay on this cliff that I built it on the edge of? Like when you go to these places like the Hollywood Hills, man, like I've been over there, man, and it's for one, there are a lot of hills. But for two, it's all in a bowl. All of it is a bowl. LA is a bowl. Which is why the smog is so bad. You know what I'm saying? Because
what do you mean a bowl, brother?
It's a bowl, it's a valley. It's a valley.
Very similar to the topography of New Orleans.
See, yeah. I never been to both, so I wouldn't know what it's like.
Yeah, like man, I believe it's the San Andreas Valley. It's this like LA is in the San Andreas Valley. I don't know if I'm 85% sure that I'm correct on that, but I know that it's in a valley, which is why smog is such a huge problem, and which is why LA essentially has, well, Cali, but LA essentially has like weather that is different than as soon as you're out of the valley, like the weather changes or whatever. You're in Colorado, you know what I'm saying? Like where
that makes sense. Yeah.
But in LA, they're getting the wind, the current off of the ocean. If you can picture wind coming in to a valley, you know what I'm saying? Like it ends up doing this, where it's like a bunch of recycled air, which is why there's not it's just a perfect storm, man, for something like legitimately for something like this to happen, which is why it always happens. But this is just on a much, much larger scale. And like they're dealing with 100-mile winds. Like on top of things just being on fire, you're dealing with 100-mile winds. Yeah. And this is wind that's not just going like this. This is wind that's going like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's in the valley. So it's just a really terrible situation, man. Like, and as solutionary as, you know what I'm saying, cats need to be about it, man. Like there's also the element of humanity has never been able to supersede nature. You know, and humanity is supposed to be natural. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is supposed to be natural. Like these are supposed to be things that when you're more in tune with your environment, like when you're truly in tune with your environment, like you can tell, all right, something, you know what I'm saying, something is off or whatever. So you're going to adjust to it. We're a synthetic society now that protects us from the environment that we're supposed to really be a part of. And I think that that's the greater thing. Like you can't, no matter how much technology, no matter how much money Elon throws into something, no matter what scientists or geniuses or whatever, like, you know, we are involved in whatever. If the earth, Mother Earth, the universe, God, Allah, Ra, whoever it is that you pray to, decides that, yo, I'm about to do this today, there's really nothing that you can do. And it just shows how diminutive we are. And it really, from a celebrity perspective, man, I saw like Paris Hilton's crib burnt down. And my lady was like, you know, everybody, we're all, you know, we're all the same or whatever. And I'm like, you know, no, we're not all the same. Paris can go to a Hilton. Yeah. Like,
I'm sorry.
Hard for me to like, I don't, you know, I mean, yeah, on a human level, you know, I'm sorry you had to pack up your 6 dogs in your Bentley, but
God,
you know what I'm saying? But like on a real tip, man, like it should be humbling to everybody, especially those who have been infused with enough money to feel as though they're greater than, to understand, like, nah, man, you're an ant.
Yeah.
You are an ant. And this is just God deciding to walk over an anthill.
So Z, best of luck to your cousin too, man.
Yeah,
and your family out there.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely sending up some positive energy for them, man, because they out there in the thick of things, man. So appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody, man.
What can be done though? Can it be done? Anything can be done for us from us?
I mean, you could probably donate something to Red Cross or
it'll be a FEMA situation, but like, like these are like affluent people, so it's not a money situation right now. It's more so just a evacuation, you know what I'm saying? It's things. So like, they could, whomever could come, this way, but I'm sure they have, it's really a family thing, man. Just family staying with family and that sort of thing, man, until till everything is cooled off, literally.
Well, best of luck to them, man. Well wishes to them, and I hope everybody just gets out of this as best as they can, man.
No doubt, man. I know they appreciate that, man. So for sure.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Daily Walk. This is 𝐒𝐲𝐒𝐽, D.D. Turner, the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Jasper. Excuse me, the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Jasper. I'm fucking it up. The Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Jasper. And we out of this motherfucker.
You got it.